Willkommen beim Broadleaf Junkie. Lehnt euch zurück, genießt eine gute Zigarre und habt Spaß. Wer zur Hölle war Esteban Carrers und wie spricht man das aus? Craig Cunningham spricht mit mir über seine Marke.
Well, okay. I just don't want to walk out of the frame.
You cannot walk out of the frame. You can't do this. I can't follow you all
right,
the
so I
time.
can move anywhere I want to.
Not behind the counter.
No, but almost. Almost. Okay,
almost,
that's easy.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So, who are you? What are you here for?
Okay, my name's Craig Cunningham. I'm the owner of Esteban Carreras Cigars. We've been in business since 2005, but mainly in the United States market. So we come out with one cigar a year. Every year we plan that cigar for over 2 years before we release it. So we have 21 lines. We hired Christopher May, who's been in the European market selling cigars for over 20 years. We released the cigar for the European market or the worldwide market last year in 2024. We opened up 34 countries last year, and we're adding a few more now and just taking reorders. But the response has been phenomenal. Man who runs my factory is Gonzalo Puentes. He's been making cigars for 52 years. He was the Minister of Tobacco in Cuba up till 1994, in charge of all the tobacco in Cuba. So he runs my factory. We blend together. And then Christopher has been in the business 22 years, knows everybody in Europe, does a phenomenal job for us over here. He's here for 2 months now, visiting some stores, and I'm here for a couple weeks, and we're here at the show in Dortmund to see all of our customers and friends.
So you just started recently on the European market, but are basically big in the US already.
We sell about 4 million cigars in the US, but having Christopher sell our cigars in Europe last year, we went into 34 countries in 3 days.
Oh, so that's quick.
And we picked up about 6 or 8 more, so we're pretty much everywhere we want to be. He knows the importers, he knows the people, he knows most of the store owners, so that relationship obviously helps us a ton.
What brought you into enjoying cigars in the first place?
So I bought a store in California in 1998, and instantly I went to the convention. And at the convention I met some people who invited me to Miami, Cuban guy. So I went there and I bought some bundles and brought them back to my store in California. A month later he invited me to Nicaragua. Very funny guy, everybody enjoys him. We did some drinking and stuff. But when I went to Miami, he took me down to a little place with a razor wire, 3-legged dog guy in there, and I went and bought some cigars off of a guy that I didn't know. Bundles, no bands. Well, that person was Gilberto Oliva from Oliva Cigars. He didn't have a brand yet. So I met him. We went down the street. Met another guy, Guillermo Rico from Gran Habano. I bought some bundles off him for $15, $18. Went back to California to sell them. He called his friend over, sold me some cigars out of his trunk. That guy was Nick Perdomo. Didn't have a brand yet. This was all stuff 28, 29 years ago. When he invited me to Nicaragua, back then nobody really went to Nicaragua. So I had my old 35 millimeter camera, and I go, I want to take pictures of the field like people do now, pictures of the rollers. But he took us to this guy's office, and we sat there for 3 hours, speaking Spanish, which I know a little, but not so much. I'm better now. And we talked to him about all kinds of things. Well, that was Nestor Placencia's office. So I met all those people in the first month that I was in the business. And then I sold a lot of cigars, built a distribution in California. In 2005, I was worried about being able to stay in business in California with the regulations and all the taxes and things. So I go, I'm going to start my own cigar brand. Very difficult task to do. But we struggled for 3 or 4 years, going out in California, going out in the United States every other week for years and years. Finally took hold in about 2009, and we've been doing very, very well ever since then.
When you started your own brand,
that was 2005.
What was the idea behind the artistry, the names of the lines, the names of the brand? Where did this come from? What influence did you have to go this way?
So we did some research and met some people, so we looked up the history of Cuba. Esteban Carreras was a freedom fighter for the people against Castro. So when Castro came into Cuba, he didn't take over the whole country at once. He came into Havana, and he would go out in a small radius and confiscate people's belongings, their tractors, their houses, their fields. But Esteban Carreras would move some tobacco further away from the city to try to protect it. Then he went over to the Bay of Pigs, a very famous battle that Kennedy didn't back him up on. and he was captured and he was killed in the Bay of Pigs 3 days after his capture. So we took that name as a fighter. I'm an old United States Marine, so we fight for our country. Esteban Carrers was fighting for his country, so we just like that story. We ended up working with some of the family for a while that we found in Mexico, but then they sold their part to me.
So basically the story of a fighter, of a rebel.
Somebody against communism for freedom.
And then you name your lines like Hellcat, Mr. Brownstone.
So what we like to do is, we made some cigars early in the first 4 years I struggled, and we named them Reserve, Real, and some other things people couldn't remember. A person buys your cigar, they go, I love that cigar, but they return to the store a month later and they go, I want to buy this cigar. It was about this long, it was brown,
Yeah.
it was a special, they can't find it. I know. So I'd go to my customers in my store and I'd give them a list of cigars of names. And I go, read that list of names, and I'd come back 30 minutes later. I go, what? I go, give me the list. They go, what do you want to know? I go, nothing. 2 days later, I go, what do you remember on that list? And they remembered 187, which was one of our earlier lines.
Okay.
And so we try to, once you've earned a customer, there's a lot of cigars out there, a lot of good cigars.
Yeah.
But once you earn a customer, we want them to be able to go back and find that cigar. So we kind of test the names to see if people can remember them. Mr. Brownstone is a street name that we use for a drug. But we were down there in the factory and we kept smoking it over and over, and we go, this is kind of addictive. So give me the Brownstone. Cashmere just relates to a soft and smooth process. The cigar, that cigar is very light, very smooth. So we try to come up with stuff that has to do with how we grew up and that what we relate to, but it's also memorable to a customer that they can go back and find your cigar.
What's your blending process? Is there a taste you're looking for, or is there a story you want to tell?
Well, every year we're going to come out with a new cigar, but we start that process 2 years earlier. So we'll kind of come up with it and go, okay, here's a hole in the market maybe, or here's a hole in our portfolio. We haven't used San Andreas yet. We haven't used Connecticut broadleaf. Also, I want something a little fuller, a little sweeter. So I'll come up to Gonzalo, who's been blending cigars for 50 years, and say, I want to use this wrapper. I kind of want to use these ring gauges. I know Condega's got a little characteristic over here. Jalapa's got a little sweetness. He'll make 6 or 7 cigars. We'll take the best cigar out of those 6 or 7 and change 1 or 2 of the leaves in there. When you do that a few times, when you get to the blend, you know that's the blend. Because there's 8 or 9 people that are trying it going, oh my God. And I go, what would you pay for that in your store? And they go, I could sell this for $15. At that point we go, good, because it's going to be 9. So we wanted to make sure we had a product that was worth more than what we were asking for it, because going up against the big names, they've got a lot of marketing dollars. We wanted to make sure that we had a product that was phenomenal and was worth more than what we're going to ask you for the money.
And would you describe yourself more as a traditional guy, or more like a person that tries out and tries to figure out new stuff?
We're going to blend cigars for the people in our factory that we love. So we're making something, but obviously we want to have different things in our portfolio. We don't want to make the same cigar over and over. And we love Connecticut broadleaf. We love San Andreas. We love Habano. I didn't make a Connecticut for a long time because we smoked fuller stuff. But after 14 years, we came out with Cashmere, which is the most expensive wrapper in the world, most expensive binder, and it's very rich and sweet, and it's our number 2 seller. But I didn't make that for a while because it wasn't really our palate, but we knew we needed a beautiful Connecticut cigar. So each year, we've got a lot of time to think about what we're coming out. And when you're on the right idea, you know it's the right idea because it just fits in with the portfolio. And we have customers come to the factory all the time. And so we take their feedback and get the feelings. And we have enough time to be guided to something what it feels right.
How much does this input influence you in going forward? And what do you like about the, let me say, cigar culture or world as a community?
Well, one thing about the cigar business is it's the last barbershop where you sit down, you relate with other people that might be a plumber and a doctor and a bus driver, and you all get along. So it's the last place where you're not on your phone, you're sitting there and you're talking to other people, and that's rare anymore. So the cigar lounge is the sanctuary.
Maya Selva yesterday told me you can meet an asshole, but when you both enjoy a cigar, you have still a common ground.
It softens the The rough edges, yes.
Okay. How is this going around here for you? What do you think of this fair?
Well, we're lucky in the fact that we have a guy been making cigars for 52 years, so we got his expertise. I've got 28 years of history. The salesman for the open market's been doing it for 22 years. He has the relationships. So we've got it a little easier than most people because we made mistakes over 20 years. We're not making the same mistakes over and over and over because we made them a long time ago. So it's not that difficult with the relationships to get the tobaccos, to grow, to sell, to know people. We're not in any rush to make a cigar. We got 2 years to do it. So things go pretty easy for us when we expand it out here like this.
Making the same mistakes all over again is kind of the definition of insanity.
Insanity. So we try. We don't mind making mistakes. We don't want to make them over and over.
Trying to be sane,
Yes.
stay sane.
But we have the time to do it. We're calm. We're planned out. Things. You just know when things are working well, and sometimes you get surprised. But more and more with the time that we take to do something, we know when it's right.
Well, as long as that are good surprises, it's all good.
Those are great. Yep.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you for coming by.
Nice
Appreciate it.
meeting you.
All right, thank you.
Über den unten aufgeführten Link könnt ihr noch bis Ende des laufenden Monats vor der EU kommentieren und argumentieren, warum man Zigarren und Zigarillos von der kommenden erhöhten oder drastisch erhöhten Tabaksteuer ausnehmen könnte, sollte, müsste. Wenn ihr mehr von dem Shit wollt, folgt mir einfach, liked, teilt, kommentiert, wenn ihr wollt und genießt eine gute Zigarre.